Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to my new channel. This is Mick's Prop Shop. I'm Mickey. I just like to make stuff, so that's mainly what this channel is going to be about, making cool stuff. Mostly nerdy, pop culture related stuff. Props, yes. Sculptures, sometimes puppets maybe. I like to make stuff out of polymer clay. 3D printing, that's one of my new things. I've been doing some 3D printing. Here's a really cool print of Jim Henson and Kermit, the Jim Henson Memorial at his alma mater in Maryland, I believe. That's something I'd like to paint eventually. Like I said, I like to sculpt, so here are a couple of my sculptures from the past that I've made. So this might be an example of some of the things we might do on the channel here. Here's a really, one of my favorites that I did of Frankenstein, Frankenstein. And here's one I did of Vecna from Stranger Things. This thing was really a pain in the butt, but came out okay. I thought I had a lot of fun making it. Also, Prometheus and Bob, 90s kids will recognize these guys. Prometheus and Bob. Bob's in kind of rough shape. I recently moved from New York to Florida, and he did not survive the move very well, so I thought maybe he, because he's also got a crack in his arm, thought they'd make a fun video to where I show how to repair your messed up polymer clay sculptures eventually. So maybe that'll be a video I do in the future. He does need to be fixed up, so. But also some props here and there. I'm gonna make some props once in a while. I'm just gonna have some fun on this channel, just make things. That's what I like to do. Like I printed this. This was printed in 4 pieces. Put it together. It's a Colt 1911 Colt 45. This is something else I printed. It's supposed to, I guess it's like a Nerf silencer. I don't know how you silence a Nerf, but anyway, I thought this would make it cool, post-apocalyptic. That's one of my new things that I've kind of been obsessed with, is the post-apocalyptic cosplay kind of thing. I don't do cosplay, but I like the idea of it, and I like to make stuff. And I really want to go to Wasteland in California one of these days, so maybe that'll happen one of these days. But so I thought this would make a cool post-apocalyptic gun, kind of inspired by Waterworld, if you've ever seen that. I printed this muzzle too. Thought that might be cool on there or something, but we're just gonna have some fun on here, guys. So and puppets, we'll probably make the occasional puppet. I'm obsessed with the Muppets. I'm a big Muppets fan. So here's one of my creations here, Kermit the Frog. He's not perfect by any means. He was made pretty much from my own patterns. I had to pretty much piece together myself, but I thought it came out okay for pretty much a new puppet maker. But maybe that's something we could do in the future too. Maybe because I do want to make a slightly improved version of Kermit for sure. Hi, home guys. Sorry, had to. But yeah, so there's something to look forward to on this channel. If that's something you're into, puppets, whatever. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please click like and subscribe. It would do the channel a big help, especially being a new channel. Literally, this is the first video. So, and I thought with this one, we'd get started with painting a 3D sculpture I did. I got a few here I thought would make good, fun videos, like Leonidas from 300. I got a really cool Batman one here I want to do eventually. Probably the Jim Henson one I showed you. And this gun will probably be an episode of its own. But I thought today we'd start it off simple with this, the Aztec death whistle from Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters is one of my first loves of pop culture, going back to childhood, you know, watching the cartoons, playing Ghostbusters with my kids. I had the Proton Pack, the Kenner Proton Pack, the PK meter, the figures, the firehouse. I had it all. It was great, you know, great to be a kid in the 80s and 90s, if you ask me. So, and I've made, one of my first props was actually a Proton Pack that I made out of cardboard, like, see, I was 21, I'm 35, almost 15 years ago now. So yeah, it's been a while. That's how long I've been dabbling, you know. I don't want to go out and say artist. I would use the term artist loosely. I don't have any formal training. I just like to make stuff. I just like to have fun. So, which the Proton Pack was a fun one, but that led me down the rabbit hole of making all sorts of other stuff. Like I started making molds, silicone molds, resin copies, and stuff like that. So probably do some of that kind of stuff on here eventually too. But start with this guy.
Whoa! Aztec death whistle. It's designed to ward off evil spirits.
So, like I said, we're going to get started with the Aztec Death Whistle. This was one of the first things I wanted to print when I got the printer. It was just one of those things when I saw the movie, I was like, I gotta have one of those. And I never got around to buying one. Originally, I wanted to sculpt one out of clay, but that didn't happen. But I was able to 3D print one, probably better than I probably could have sculpted. I don't think it's exactly to size. I don't think it's the right size, but it's close enough for me. And we're going to get started on this one. What we're going to do is probably just start by giving it a quick base coat of black. And as for paints, got some paints right here. I picked out several different kinds of brown, because in the movie it's kind of got like a bronzy, brownish, kind of black wash kind of look to it. So we got my base coat here, black. I got the big bottle of black because I use a lot of black, and it's just nothing. It's nothing fancy. It's Apple Barrel from Walmart. I think the bigger bottles are a couple dollars. These other ones are like 50 cents a piece. You know, I think, and we got Territorial Beige, Brown Oxide, and sometimes I like to buy folk art because I do like folk art. It's a good paint, but I don't have a lot of it. But this one's Raw Sienna, kind of a fancy name. But I figured between these three browns, we could come up with something that works. So let's get started. And my brushes are nothing fancy, of course. These are just, you know, Walmart bought paint brushes. But they're in this little beaker cup that I made, which I love. He was originally supposed to be like a flower pot or something, but I scaled it down so I could use him for paintbrushes, because I thought that would be a cool way to store my paintbrushes as a Muppet nerd. So, but let's get started. We're going to start with the black here. Shake it up. And I don't have a palette right now, so I'm just going to use some scrap cardboard I have. That's probably way too much, but let's see here. I'm just going to use a bigger brush here because I just want coverage for this layer. Just want to get it as black as possible in this first coat. Let's see, there's a hole there. I'm just going to use my finger to get up in there and paint. Normally I'd like to give it a little sanding on. Normally I'd like to do a little sanding to make the paint grip, but some of these prints, it does seem necessary, but we'll see how it goes without any paint or any sanding. Great start. So I'm just gonna get as much in the eyes as I can. That seems to be the blackest part in the reference photos, and all the crevices there. Definitely one of those things. Don't worry if you can't get it completely covered on the first coat. That's why you usually want to do 2 or 3 anyway, but it looks like I might not need to on this one. At least yet. I might do it just for the hell of it. Put another coat on, but okay, so there he is, all blackened up. Now we're just gonna set him down here. I'm not too worried about the black because we're gonna go over it anyway, but just let him sit and dry. Okay, so I put a second coat on it. It's not quite dry enough yet, so we're gonna let that sit for a minute, but I thought I'd show this off in the meantime. Here's a print I made just around Christmas time, obviously. Stocking hanger. Just wanted to show off a little bit of my painting on that, because I had fun painting this one. I thought it came out pretty well. And I love Christmas, anything Christmas, so I had fun with this one. It took me a lot of prints. My printer is not the greatest anyway, but kept screwing up. One time I ran out of filament, and the next time it just tried to do it without an infill, and that did not work out. And the second time it didn't work. Fourth time was a charm. So, but fairly happy with how that came out. And there's a little bit of my Wash, give him the really rosy red cheeks, his nose. Nose is my favorite, but anyway, let's get back to the death whistle. Okay, I think it's dry enough to at least get started here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my darkest brown, which would be this brown oxide. Just shake that up a little bit. Didn't need much, but make a little dab will do you. And I just pillaged this from my better half's makeup case, because I guess this is, I normally do dry brushing with just regular paint brushes, but everybody likes to use these apparently, so I'm going to give it a shot and see how it does. So I'm going to get as much of that off of there as I can. And just lightly start brushing it on. So I think I need a little more. So it's a darker brown, so it's not showing up quite too much. But there we go. Just needed a little more on there. Which that's okay, because this is just the first layer of dry brush I'm going to do. I'm going to gradually go down in color, well, to a lighter color, which I think will give it some good contrast. I'm trying to get it as close to the movie version as possible. The print's actually not quite movie accurate anyway, but ooh, got some black paint on there. You might not be able to see it too well on the camera there, but because it's a pretty dark dry brush anyway. But it is bringing out some of the. Give you some good lighting there. Now you could wear gloves for this too. Obviously, I don't care too much about getting paint on my fingers. It's gonna happen. So now I'm gonna go to, I think I started with the brown oxide, so I'm gonna go with the territorial beige. And then I'm gonna go to the light mocha. And I think doing the 3 different browns will give it a nice contrast. Let's see. Oh, but a little bit too much. I don't care about this table. Yeah, that's definitely way too much. So now we're just gonna. Yeah, that's popping a lot more than the darker brown there. So I think this is gonna look pretty cool. It's already looking pretty cool. See how much difference that makes? Just light, really light strokes. Don't want total coverage, you just want to get it on those highlights. Alright, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna let that sit and dry for a bit. Okay, so it's nice and dry now, mostly. So I'm gonna go to the last coat, I think, which will be the lightest one here. This is really gonna be the one that makes it pop, I think. Light mocha, and getting it as close to what I can make of screen captures of or reference photos of the actual prop in the movie. So I think this will be a decent match. Gonna get as much off of that brush as I can, and we're gonna go. go a little heavier with this one because it's the see, and a little bit goes a long way. Like, I didn't even need that much paint because I'm just using dabs and trying to get into these corners here. The plastic coming off there. So there's that. Not completely happy with it. Might try a different color. Might even go a little bit lighter. I think I got one lighter brown that I can throw on there, so let's do that. Yeah, let's see. This one's just a tad bit lighter. Country Twill Beige from Folk Art. Let's see here. And this should be the last one. The last coat we do. And it's almost finished. So it'll just be a quick first video here on this channel. So yeah, go a little. I don't go quite as heavy as the last coat. So there, that's pretty much done. Right there. Flash paint, I'm gonna add a lanyard to it too. Let's see here. But that's pretty much how it looks like in the movie. Close. Not perfect, but because you can see the 3D printing lines, there's not much I can do about that. I probably could have done it, you know, like filled it with filler. I got my Z line there, which is a little annoying. So I guess if I do this print again, I would do it facing the other way so I can get my Z line here. As for the 3D printing lines, there's not much I can do about that because my printer is just, it's not a high-tech, it's not a fancy high dollar printer. It's a pretty entry-level one, so the lines are going to be there unless I really try to get them out of there, but it would have been a bit of a nightmare trying to fill in every single line, trying to get that perfect. Plus I didn't want to lose some of the like weathering detail here, like the divots and stuff. I didn't want to lose those, which probably would have lost if I tried filler. So about as good as we can get with this printer. So but that's not too bad, and it gives you an idea how the dry brush works. Alright, so I don't have a leather string to use, so I'm going to use the shoelace from this World War II rough-out boot. It's had a blowout. I guess I fixed it, but I can get another lace easy enough, and just for the purpose of this project, we're going to sacrifice this lace. Alright, so I have my pillaged shoelace here. Hopefully this works. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I might have to double this up. Get in there. There we go. So, got my lace hand here. Now I'm just gonna put a little knot in there. I don't know how to do any fancy knots, so we're just gonna do a regular knot. And there we have it, the Ghostbusters Afterlife death whistle.
Can I keep it?
Yes, please. Just don't do that again.
Just wanted to do a quick, fun one. This was a pretty quick, easy paint job, so anybody could do this. It's just a little bit of dry brushing. You got to get that dark first coat on there, and then pretty much brush does the rest. So, and like I said, I stole this from my girlfriend's makeup kit. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I mean, I asked her. I didn't really steal it, but that's where I got it. So, and it's the first time I've used the actual makeup brush, and I'm pretty happy with. Kind of wish I had done it on some other projects in the past, but so it's good to go. And now I can ward off evil spirits. It's supposed to work, but it doesn't. But anyway, so if you like this video, if it was useful to anybody, or if you just thought it was fun, please go ahead, click that like and subscribe button. If you got any suggestions of stuff I can make, I'm all ears. I got some projects laying around here I know I'm gonna do a video on, but I'm always open to suggestions, and sometimes it's cool to hear what other people have to say. So if I did anything wrong, I'm sure I did something wrong. So if I did something wrong, I know somebody will let me know in the comments if they even see it. So thanks a lot, guys. New channel here. This was the first video, so hopefully it was useful to you or somewhat entertaining. So catch you guys next time.